Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature channel. Tonight, let yourself settle into something soft and warm. Take a slow breath in, and as you breathe out, feel your shoulders drop just a little. We're going to walk together through the Amazon jungle. Not rushing, not searching for anything in particular, just drifting gently between the trees, listening to the quiet hum of the forest, feeling the soft air on your skin. The Amazon doesn't hurry. It breathes slowly, like you. And tonight, you can rest inside that rhythm. Let's begin. The Amazon rainforest stretches across 9 countries, covering more than 2 million square miles. But you don't need to measure it. All you need to know is that it's vast and green and endless, like a soft blanket of leaves spread across the earth. When you imagine it, picture yourself standing beneath trees so tall they seem to hold up the sky. Their trunks are wide and ancient, and their roots spread beneath your feet like gentle hands cradling the soil. The air here is different. It's thick and warm, heavy with moisture. When you breathe in, you can almost taste the sweetness of flowers and the earthy scent of wet leaves. The humidity wraps around you like a warm towel fresh from the dryer. It doesn't press or smother. It simply holds you, softly, the way the forest holds everything inside it. Above you, the canopy is a living ceiling. Thousands of trees weave their branches together, creating a roof of green that filters the sunlight into soft, golden beams. The light doesn't blast through. It trickles down in gentle streams, touching a leaf here, a flower there, turning everything into a quiet glow. You stand in this filtered warmth, and it feels like being inside a cathedral made entirely of patience. The forest floor beneath your feet is soft. Layers and layers of fallen leaves have gathered here over centuries, each one resting on top of the one before. When you step, the ground gives just a little, cushioning your weight. It's like walking on the softest carpet you've ever known. The leaves are brown and amber and gold, and they smell like rain and time. Somewhere nearby, you hear the gentle trickle of water. The Amazon is home to over 1,100 tributary rivers, and many of them begin as tiny streams no wider than your hand. You follow the sound until you find one, just a thin ribbon of water sliding over smooth stones. It moves so quietly, barely making a sound, but it's been moving like this for thousands of years. You crouch down and let your fingers rest in the cool water. It's clear and soft, and it flows around your hand like silk. The trees around you are breathing. Every day, the Amazon releases about 20 billion tons of water into the atmosphere. You can feel it in the air, the gentle dampness, the way the world feels alive and awake, but also deeply calm. The trees pull water up from the soil through their roots, and then they release it through their leaves in a process so quiet and constant you'd never notice it unless you stop to feel the mist on your skin. And there is mist, thin and delicate. It drifts between the tree trunks like a soft veil. It doesn't block your view. It just softens everything, blurs the edges, makes the forest feel like a dream you're walking through. The mist touches your face, cool and light, and you close your eyes for a moment, letting it settle on your eyelashes. High above, in the canopy, the world is different. Most of the Amazon's life happens up there in the treetops, where sunlight is plentiful and the air is filled with the rustle of leaves. But down here, where you are, It's quieter, the light is softer, the world moves more slowly. You can rest here without missing anything because the forest doesn't ask you to keep up. It simply is, and you simply are, and that's enough. You notice a tree nearby with bark that looks like it's been painted in shades of gray and silver. It's called a kapok tree, and it can grow as tall as a 20-story building. But this one is still young. Its trunk is smooth, and when you place your palm against it, you can feel the faint coolness of the wood beneath. The tree doesn't react. It just stands, patient and steady, the way it's been standing for decades. Around the base of the tree, roots spread out in wide arcs. Some trees in the Amazon have buttress roots, flat, wing-like structures that fan out from the trunk to help support the tree's enormous height. These roots are taller than you, and they curve outward like the walls of a small room. You step between two of them and sit down, leaning your back against the trunk. The wood is solid and cool. You're held here, cradled by the tree's strength, and you let yourself settle into that feeling. The air smells green. That's the only way to describe it. It smells like chlorophyll and growth and the patient work of leaves turning sunlight into life. You breathe it in slowly, and it fills your lungs with something clean and gentle. The Amazon produces about 6% of the world's oxygen. But right now, all you care about is this one breath, this one soft inhale that makes your chest rise and fall like the forest itself is breathing through you. A butterfly drifts past, just a few feet from your face. Its wings are bright blue, so vivid they almost seem to glow in the dim light. This is a morpho butterfly, and its wings aren't actually blue. They're covered in tiny scales that reflect light in a way that creates the illusion of color. But you don't need to know that. All you need to see is the way it moves, slow, unhurried, tracing lazy loops through the air. It lands on a leaf nearby, opening and closing its wings in a rhythm that matches your breathing. Beneath the leaf litter, the soil is rich and dark. It's full of life you can't see. Tiny organisms breaking down the fallen leaves, turning them into nutrients that the trees will use to grow. The Amazon soil isn't deep, but it's constantly renewing itself. Every leaf that falls becomes food for the forest. Every branch that tumbles down is pulled back into the earth. Nothing is wasted. Everything is part of the cycle, slow and patient and endlessly forgiving. You hear a soft rustling in the branches above. A sloth is moving through the canopy, though moving is a generous word. Sloths travel about 40 yards per day, pulling themselves along branches with their long, curved claws. Right now, one of them is hanging upside down, its fur tinged green with algae that grows in the humid air. It doesn't seem to notice you. It simply exists, slowly, peacefully, without any urgency at all. The light is beginning to change. The sun, somewhere far above the canopy, is starting to sink lower. The golden beams that filtered through the leaves are turning softer, more amber. The forest is preparing for evening, but it does so without fanfare. The transition is so gradual you barely notice it. Just a gentle dimming, a slight shift in the quality of the air. A bird calls out, somewhere distant. Its voice is clear and melodic, echoing through the trees. The Amazon is home to more than 1,500 species of birds, and each one has its own song. This one sounds like a flute, 3 notes rising and falling in a pattern that repeats, then fades. You listen until the sound is gone, and then You listen to the silence that follows. The silence here isn't empty. It's full of small sounds, the drip of water from a leaf, the faint creak of branches swaying, the whisper of wind moving through the upper canopy. These sounds don't interrupt the quiet. They're part of it, woven into the fabric of the forest's peace. You close your eyes and let the forest hold you, the tree at your back, the soft ground beneath you, the cool air on your skin. It all feels like a gentle embrace. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to go anywhere. You're exactly where you're meant to be, resting in the slow, patient heartbeat of the Amazon. And here, in this softness, you can simply breathe. The evening deepens around you, but not quickly. The Amazon doesn't rush into nighttime. It slides there gently, the way a hand might slip into warm water. The air grows a little cooler, a little softer, and the light between the trees turns from amber to a pale, dusky blue. You're still resting against the kapok tree, and you can feel the subtle shift in the forest around you. The daytime creatures are settling down, finding their places to rest. The nighttime ones are beginning to wake, though they do so quietly, with reverence for the stillness that's settling over everything. In the canopy above, a troop of howler monkeys is preparing to sleep. During the day, their calls can carry for 3 miles through the forest, a deep, rumbling sound that feels like thunder rolling through the trees. But now, they're quiet. They've found a sturdy branch wide enough for all of them, and they're curling up together, their bodies pressed close for warmth and comfort. You can't see them, but you can imagine the way they settle, the way their breathing slows and synchronizes. The Amazon is home to about 430 species of mammals, and each one has its own rhythm, its own way of moving through the forest. The monkeys sleep in the trees. The tapirs rest in the undergrowth, their heavy bodies sinking into the soft earth. The jaguars stretch out on thick branches, their spotted coats blending with the dappled shadows. Everything finds its place. Everything rests. You notice the flowers closing. Many plants in the Amazon follow the sun, opening their petals wide during the day and folding them gently as evening comes. Near your feet, there's a small plant with delicate white flowers. As you watch, the petals slowly draw together like hands folding in prayer. It happens so gradually, you almost miss it. Just a quiet closing, a gentle turning inward. The orchids, though, are different. The Amazon has more than 10,000 species of orchids, and some of them bloom only at night. These flowers wait for the darkness, and as the light fades, their petals begin to open. They release a fragrance that's sweet and faint, designed to attract moths and other nighttime pollinators. You breathe it in, and it's like inhaling a secret, something soft and private, meant only for this moment. The moss on the trees is growing darker as the light fades, shifting from bright green to a deeper, richer shade. Moss covers everything here, the trunks of trees, the fallen logs, even the stones along the stream. It grows so thickly in places that it looks like velvet, soft and plush. You reach out and touch a patch on the tree beside you. It's damp and cool, and it yields beneath your fingers like the softest cushion. Somewhere nearby, you hear the gentle patter of rain beginning to fall. The Amazon receives about 9 feet of rain each year, but it doesn't come all at once. It comes in soft showers like this one, pattering down through the canopy, dripping from leaf to leaf until it finally reaches the ground. The sound is soothing, 1,000 tiny fingers drumming gently on the forest roof. The rain doesn't soak you. The canopy catches most of it, holding the water in its leaves and branches. Only a fine mist drifts down to where you are, cool and refreshing on your skin. You tilt your head back and let it touch your face. The droplets are so small they feel more like breath than water, just a gentle dampness that settles over you like a blessing. The stream beside you is growing louder as the rain feeds into it. The water rises slightly, flowing a little faster over the stones, but still gently, still peacefully. You can hear the different notes it makes, the high tinkle where it splashes over a small rock, the deeper gurgle where it pools in a hollow, the soft rush where it slides over a smooth surface. It's like listening to a song that has no beginning and no end, just an endless melody of water finding its way. A frog begins to sing. Its voice is high and clear, a single note that rings out through the rain. Then another frog joins in, and another, until there's a whole chorus of them, each one adding its voice to the symphony. The Amazon has over 1,000 species of frogs, and they're most active at night, especially when it rains. Their songs aren't loud or jarring. They're part of the forest's music, blending with the rain and the wind and the gentle rustle of leaves. You can feel the temperature dropping just a little. The rain has brought cooler air with it, and it settles around you like a light blanket. It's not cold. Nothing in the Amazon is truly cold, but it's refreshing, a gentle relief from the warmth of the day. You pull your knees up to your chest and wrap your arms around them, making yourself small and cozy beneath the buttress roots. The rain begins to ease. It doesn't stop all at once. It just gradually becomes lighter, the drops falling more slowly, the sound softening. Soon, it's barely more than a mist, and then even that fades away. The forest drips quietly, water sliding from leaf to leaf, pattering softly onto the ground. Everything smells fresh and clean, like the earth has been washed and renewed. As the rain clears, the sounds of the night forest become clearer. You hear the buzz of insects, not harsh or jarring, but a soft, steady hum that fills the air like static. There are millions of insects in the Amazon, more species than anyone has ever counted. They move through the darkness on delicate wings, visiting flowers, hunting for food, living out their small, vital lives. Their buzzing is like the forest's pulse, steady and constant and endlessly alive. A beetle lands on your arm. It's about the size of your thumb, with a shell that gleams iridescent in what little light remains. It walks slowly across your skin, its tiny feet tickling slightly. You don't brush it away. You watch as it explores, making its way from your wrist to your elbow, then spreading its wings and flying off into the darkness. Its wings make a soft whirring sound like a tiny helicopter lifting off. The trees around you are settling into their nighttime stillness. During the day, they photosynthesize, turning sunlight into energy. But at night, they rest, or at least they slow down. They still breathe, still exchange gases with the air, but more quietly, more gently. You can almost feel it, the way the forest exhales, releasing the day's warmth and tension, sinking into the peace of darkness. High above, through a gap in the canopy, you catch a glimpse of stars. They're faint, just pinpricks of light in the deep blue sky. But they're there. The Amazon sky at night can be so dark, so clear, that the stars seem to multiply endlessly. You can see the Milky Way sometimes, a river of light flowing across the heavens. Tonight, you just see a few stars winking softly, and that's enough. The darkness is complete now, but it's not frightening. Your eyes adjust slowly, and you begin to see shapes, the silhouettes of trees, the faint gleam of water in the stream, the soft outlines of leaves. The forest doesn't need light to exist. It's here in the darkness, breathing, growing, living, and you're here too, held safely in its gentle embrace. A night bird calls out, its voice soft and questioning. It sounds like it's asking the forest a question, and the forest answers with silence. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of peace. You listen to that silence, and you feel yourself sinking deeper into it, letting it fill all the empty spaces inside you. Your breathing has slowed to match the rhythm of the forest, in and out, slow and steady, like the rise and fall of the tide. You don't have to think about it. It just happens, naturally, effortlessly. You're part of the forest now, part of its breath, part of its peace. And in this darkness, in this softness, you can rest. The night deepens, and with it comes a different kind of quiet. It's not the absence of sound, it's the presence of something softer, something that wraps around you like silk. The Amazon at night is a world unto itself, full of small movements and gentle whispers, all woven together into a tapestry of peace. You shift slightly against the tree, adjusting your position until you're completely comfortable. The buttress roots cradle you on either side, and the trunk supports your back. You're held here, safe and warm, as if the forest itself has decided to take care of you for the night. The forest floor around you is alive with bioluminescence. Tiny fungi growing on fallen logs emit a soft, greenish glow. It's faint. You have to let your eyes adjust fully to see it, but once you do, it's like discovering a hidden constellation scattered across the ground. These glowing fungi are breaking down the wood, turning dead trees back into nutrients for the soil. But tonight, they're also lanterns, tiny beacons of light in the darkness. You watch one particularly bright cluster on a log just a few feet away. The glow pulses slightly, as if the fungi are breathing. Scientists believe this light might attract insects, which then spread the fungal spores to new locations. But you don't need to think about the science. All you need to see is the gentle, otherworldly beauty of it, like stars that fell to earth and decided to stay. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the low hoot of an owl. The Amazon is home to many species of owls, and each one hunts in its own way. This one has a voice like a wooden flute, deep and resonant. It calls out once, twice, then falls silent. You imagine it perched high in a tree, its large eyes scanning the forest floor, patient and watchful. But there's no sense of danger in its presence, only the quiet efficiency of nature taking care of itself. The stream beside you continues its gentle song. The water level has settled after the rain, and now it flows steadily, neither rushing nor stalling. You can hear different textures in the sound, the splash where it tumbles over a small ledge, the whisper where it slides through smooth sand, the gurgle where it eddies around a stone. Each sound is distinct, yet they all blend together into a lullaby that seems designed specifically to ease you into sleep. A warm breeze moves through the forest, stirring the leaves above you. It's gentle, barely strong enough to be called wind, more like the forest's breath, slow and measured. The breeze carries scents with it, the sweetness of night-blooming flowers, the earthiness of damp soil, the faint spice of tree resin. You breathe it all in, and it fills you with a sense of deep contentment. The Amazon's trees communicate with each other through networks of fungi in the soil. These mycorrhizal networks connect tree roots across vast distances, allowing them to share nutrients and even send chemical signals. Right now, beneath your feet, this quiet conversation is happening. Trees sharing resources, supporting each other, existing in a web of connection that's been growing for thousands of years. You can't hear it or see it, but you can feel it somehow. The way you can feel the forest's unity, its wholeness. A group of fireflies drifts past, their lights blinking on and off in a slow, synchronized rhythm. They move like a constellation that's decided to take a stroll, each tiny light appearing and disappearing in perfect harmony with the others. You watch them float between the trees, their glow reflected faintly in the wet leaves, until they disappear into the darkness. They leave behind only the memory of their light, gentle and fleeting. The air is perfectly still now. The breeze has passed, and in its wake is a stillness so complete it feels sacred. You can hear your own heartbeat, slow and steady, and you realize it matches the rhythm of the forest. The drip of water, the pulse of insect song, the gentle sway of branches high above. Everything is connected, everything is one, and you're part of that wholeness. Near your foot, a line of leaf-cutter ants is marching past. Even at night, they work, carrying pieces of leaves back to their underground nest. Each ant holds a leaf fragment above its head, like a tiny green umbrella. They move in a steady stream, one after another, following a scent trail laid down by the ants in front of them. Their work is constant and patient, never rushed, never frantic. They simply do what they were made to do, and there's a deep peace in that. You watch them for a while, mesmerized by their determination and organization. A single colony can contain up to 8 million ants, all working together with perfect coordination. They don't build nests for themselves. They build gardens, underground farms where they grow fungus to feed their colony. The leaves they carry will be chewed into pulp and used to fertilize these gardens. It's a partnership between ants and fungus that's been going on for millions of years. The forest is full of these partnerships. Trees and fungi, ants and plants, birds and flowers. Everything is connected. Everything supports everything else. Nothing exists in isolation. The Amazon isn't just a collection of individual organisms. It's a living system, breathing and growing as one. Above you, a bat flits past, its wings making a soft whooshing sound in the air. The Amazon is home to over 150 species of bats, and they play crucial roles in the forest's health. Some eat insects, helping to control populations. Others feed on fruit and spread seeds across vast distances. A few even pollinate flowers, visiting blooms that open only at night. This bat is hunting insects, using echolocation to navigate through the darkness with perfect precision. You hear the high-pitched clicks it makes, too fast and too high for human ears to fully register, but you catch fragments of them, tiny pulses of sound bouncing off trees and leaves and returning with information. The bat doesn't see the world the way you do. It hears it. mapping its environment through sound, painting a picture of the forest in echoes and reverberations. The temperature has dropped a few more degrees, and now the air feels perfect, cool enough to be refreshing, warm enough to be comfortable. You don't need a blanket. The forest's warmth is enough. The humidity holds the heat close, creating a cocoon of gentle temperature that settles over you like the most comfortable bed you've ever known. You notice that the fungi's glow has brightened slightly, or perhaps your eyes have adjusted even more, becoming sensitive to the faintest traces of light. Either way, the forest floor is now dotted with dozens of tiny glowing points, like a reflection of the stars above. Some are blue-green, others are pale yellow. They don't move. They simply glow, patient and steady, marking the slow transformation of death into life. A tree frog calls out from somewhere nearby. Its voice is different from the frogs you heard earlier, higher, more musical, like a tiny bell being rung in the darkness. It calls 3 times, pauses, then calls 3 times again. You wait for it to call once more, and when it does, you find yourself smiling. There's something joyful in that sound, something that makes the night feel less like an absence of day and more like its own complete, perfect thing. The darkness no longer feels dark. It feels full of life, full of sound, full of gentle movements and quiet miracles. Your eyes are closed now, but you can still see the forest in your mind. You can still feel it around you, supporting you, holding you. And in this fullness, you sink deeper into rest. Time moves differently here. Minutes might be hours, or hours might be minutes. You can't tell anymore. And it doesn't matter. The forest exists outside of time, in a rhythm that has nothing to do with clocks or calendars. It simply is, and you simply are, and together you rest in this eternal present moment. Your breathing has become so slow and deep that you barely notice it anymore. Each inhale brings in the forest's scent, earth and leaves and water and flowers. Each exhale releases whatever tension might still be hiding in your body. You feel lighter with every breath, as if you're slowly dissolving into the air, becoming part of the mist that drifts between the trees. The stream has changed its song again. The water flows differently now, more slowly perhaps, or over different stones. The melody is softer, more like a whisper than a song. You listen to it the way you might listen to someone telling you a secret, leaning in, paying attention, letting the sound fill all the spaces in your mind where thoughts used to be. In the canopy far above, an animal is moving. You can't see it, but you can hear the faint rustle of leaves, the soft creak of branches bending under weight. It might be a kinkajou, a small mammal with golden fur that moves through the trees at night, feeding on fruit and nectar. Or it might be an opossum or a tree-dwelling porcupine. Whatever it is, it moves with confidence and grace, completely at home in the darkness. The sound doesn't startle you. Nothing here startles you anymore. You've become part of the forest's rhythm, and everything that happens feels natural and right. The animal continues its journey through the canopy, and you continue your journey into deeper and deeper rest. A moth lands on your knee. You can barely feel it, just the lightest tickle of tiny feet and the brush of powdery wings. Moths are everywhere in the Amazon at night. Thousands of species ranging from tiny ones smaller than your fingernail to giant ones with wingspans wider than your hand. This one is medium-sized, with wings that are soft brown and patterned with intricate swirls. It rests on your knee for a long moment, perhaps warming itself, perhaps just pausing in its flight. Then, just as gently as it arrived, it lifts off and disappears into the darkness. The air feels thicker now, heavy with moisture. It's not uncomfortable. It's like being wrapped in the softest, warmest blanket. Every breath you take feels substantial, nourishing. The Amazon's humidity can reach 90% at night, and it turns the air into something you can almost touch, almost hold. You can feel drops of condensation forming on the leaves above you. They grow slowly, gathering moisture from the air until they're heavy enough to fall. Every few seconds, a drop lands somewhere nearby, on a leaf, on the ground, on your arm. Each drop is cool and perfect, a tiny gift from the forest. You don't wipe them away. You let them rest on your skin, evaporating slowly, leaving behind only a faint coolness. The fungal glow around you seems to pulse gently, as if breathing in time with you. Scientists have found that these glowing fungi have circadian rhythms. They glow brighter at certain times of night, dimmer at others. You're witnessing one of these brighter moments when the forest floor seems sprinkled with stardust. It's a small magic, a quiet wonder that asks nothing from you except that you notice it. Somewhere in the distance, you hear what might be a jaguar's cough, a short, rough sound that echoes briefly through the trees. Jaguars are mostly solitary and silent, but sometimes they vocalize to mark territory or communicate across distances. The sound is far away, and there's no threat in it. It's simply another voice in the forest's chorus, low and powerful, and somehow comforting. The jaguar is out there somewhere, moving through its territory with liquid grace. And you are here, safe and still, and both of you belong to this night. The roots beneath you feel warmer now, as if they're sharing the tree's inner heat with you. Trees store energy during the day and slowly release it at night. The warmth is subtle, but it's there, a gentle radiating comfort that seeps into your back and shoulders. You shift slightly, settling even more deeply into the root's embrace, and the tree holds you without judgment, without expectation, with only endless patience. A night-blooming flower has opened somewhere nearby. You can't see it, but its perfume reaches you on the still air, sweet and heady, with notes of vanilla and honey. These flowers open in darkness because their pollinators, certain moths and bats, are active at night. The scent is their beacon, calling out across the forest, saying, "Here, I am here, come find me." But tonight, the flower's perfume is also for you, a gift of beauty that asks for nothing in return. The insect song has changed. Some of the evening singers have finished their music and retired for the night. Others have taken their place, creatures with different voices, different rhythms. The result is a new symphony, still gentle, still soothing, but with different notes, different harmonies. It's like listening to the same orchestra play a different movement of the same endless song. You realize your eyes have been closed for a while now. You hadn't meant to close them. It just happened naturally, the way night follows day. Behind your eyelids, you can still see the forest, painted in the colors of memory and imagination. The trees are there, the stream is there, the soft glow of fungi is there. Everything exists in your mind now as clearly as it exists in the world around you. The boundary between inner and outer is dissolving. You are the forest, and the forest is you. When the stream flows, you flow. When the trees breathe, you breathe. When the night settles deeper into stillness, you settle too, sinking down into a peace so complete it feels like coming home. A cool drop of water lands on your forehead. It might be condensation from the leaves above, or perhaps the lightest beginning of another rain. It doesn't matter. The drop sits there for a moment, then slowly rolls down the side of your face like a tear, but not a tear of sadness. A tear of release, of letting go, of finally resting. The forest holds you, the night surrounds you, the earth supports you. And here, in this perfect darkness, in this perfect stillness, you are exactly where you need to be. Everything is well, everything is peaceful, everything is soft. The night has reached its deepest point now. This is the hour when the world feels most still, most quiet, most at peace. Even the busiest nighttime creatures have slowed their activities. The forest rests in a state between sleep and waking, existing in a space of pure being. Your body has completely relaxed. Every muscle has released its tension. Every joint has softened. You feel heavy in the most pleasant way, as if gravity has become your friend, gently pulling you down into the earth's embrace. The buttress roots hold you like a mother's arms, safe and warm and absolutely secure. The temperature has stabilized. The air around you is perfectly balanced, not too warm, not too cool, but exactly right. It's as if the forest has adjusted itself just for you, creating the ideal conditions for rest. The humidity wraps around you like silk, and you feel held by the air itself, supported by this thick, warm atmosphere that knows exactly how to comfort you. High above, the leaves are still. There's no wind now, not even the faintest breeze. The canopy has settled into complete stillness, and the only movement is the slow, patient drip of condensation from leaf to leaf. Each drop takes its time, forming slowly, growing heavy, finally releasing and falling in a journey that might take minutes to complete. You hear them land, soft touches on leaves, gentle pats on the forest floor, the occasional quiet plop in the stream. The stream itself has found its quietest voice. The water moves almost silently now, whispering rather than singing, murmuring rather than babbling. It sounds like someone speaking softly in another room, comforting, peaceful, so gentle you could sleep through it. And that's exactly what it wants you to do. Sleep, rest, let go. A thin blanket of mist is forming close to the ground. You can feel it more than see it. A coolness around your ankles, a dampness in the air at ground level. The mist doesn't rise high, just a few inches, creating a soft layer between the earth and the air. It makes the forest floor look dreamlike, as if you're floating just above the ground, suspended in a gentle cloud. The fungi around you have dimmed slightly. Their glow is still there, but softer now, as if even they are preparing for rest. They pulse slowly, faintly, like the dying embers of a fire, not going out, just settling into a quieter state. Their light is enough to keep the darkness from being absolute, but not enough to disturb the night's peace. Somewhere far away, you hear the soft chirring of a nightjar. These birds are masters of camouflage, spending their days motionless on the forest floor or perched lengthwise on branches, looking exactly like bark. At night, they hunt insects in flight, their wide mouths scooping up prey in midair. This one is resting now, calling out occasionally with that strange, mechanical, chirring sound. It's not beautiful in a traditional sense, but it's perfect for this moment. Rhythmic, steady, hypnotic. The ants near your feet have thinned out. The steady stream that was passing by earlier has slowed to just a few individuals, each carrying its leaf fragment home. Even they seem tired, moving more slowly than before, taking their time. Soon, even these last few stragglers will return to the nest, and the trail will be empty until morning. You can feel the earth's heartbeat beneath you, or perhaps it's your own heartbeat, so slow and steady now that it seems to come from the ground itself. Each pulse is calm, measured, peaceful. Your heart knows exactly what to do. It's been beating since before you were born, and it will continue beating long into the night, keeping perfect time, requiring nothing from you but trust. The tree at your back is ancient. Kapok trees can live for 300 years or more, and this one has seen countless nights like this one. It has stood through storms and droughts, through floods and fires. It has watched the forest change and grow and renew itself, season after season, year after year. And through it all, it has remained patient, steady, unmovable. Tonight, it shares that steadiness with you, lending you its strength, its rootedness, its deep, deep peace. A bat passes so close you can hear the whoosh of its wings cutting through the air. But even this sound is gentle, more like a sigh than a rush. The bat is hunting, but not frantically. It moves with the confidence of a creature that knows the night intimately, that understands every inch of this forest, that has nothing to fear. You could learn from the bat how to move through darkness without fear, how to trust your senses, how to find your way even when you can't see. The forest floor is sinking into deeper stillness. The last of the day's warmth is finally dissipating, and with it goes any remaining sense of activity or urgency. The night has done its work. The forest is at rest. And now, so are you. Your thoughts have dissolved completely. There's no planning, no remembering, no wondering. There's only this moment, this breath, this sensation of being held by the earth and the tree and the night. Your mind is as still as the air, as peaceful as the sleeping birds in the canopy, as quiet as the stones at the bottom of the stream. Another drop of condensation lands on your hand. It's cool and perfect, and you feel it sit there for a moment before slowly evaporating. The forest is breathing out moisture, and you're breathing it in. The exchange is constant, intimate, connecting you to every living thing around you. You are not separate from this place. You are part of it, woven into its fabric, held in its embrace. The darkness is complete now, and you've stopped trying to see. Your eyes are closed, or perhaps open. You can't tell anymore, and it doesn't matter. You're seeing with something other than eyes now. You're feeling the forest with your whole body, sensing it with every cell. And what you sense is only peace. Time has stopped meaning anything. There is no past, no future, only this eternal now. And in this now, everything is exactly as it should be. You are safe, you are held, you are home. In this deepest part of the night, the Amazon reveals its most secret self. This is when the forest is most honest, most vulnerable, most true. The performance of the day is over. The busy work of photosynthesis has ceased. Now, the forest simply exists, breathing softly, resting deeply, being completely and utterly itself. You have become so still that small creatures no longer notice you. A tiny frog hops past your foot, its body no bigger than your thumbnail. It's one of the poison dart frogs, though you can't see its brilliant colors in the darkness. During the day, these frogs are jewels scattered across the forest floor, electric blue, vivid orange, deep red. But now, this one is just a small, damp presence, moving with purpose through the leaf litter, completely unafraid. The frog's toxicity comes from the insects it eats, which in turn get their toxins from the plants they feed on. It's another reminder that everything here is connected, that nothing exists in isolation. The plant becomes the insect, becomes the frog, becomes part of the forest's great web of life. And you, sitting here, breathing this air, are part of that web too. Above you, a spider is working on her web. You can't see her, but if you could, you'd watch her moving with perfect precision, pulling silk from her spinnerets and weaving it into geometric perfection. Some spiders in the Amazon build webs strong enough to catch small birds. Others build webs so delicate they're almost invisible. This one is somewhere in between, creating a structure that will catch the morning's insects, providing her with food for another day. The web building is meditative, repetitive, calm. The spider knows exactly what to do. She's been building webs since she first emerged from her egg sac, guided by instincts older than the forest itself. There's no hesitation, no doubt, just the patient work of creation, strand by strand, anchor by anchor, until the web is complete. The mist has thickened slightly. It swirls around the base of the trees in slow, lazy movements, rising and falling with the faintest variations in temperature. Where the mist is thickest, the fungi's glow becomes diffused, creating soft halos of light that pulse gently in the darkness. It's like watching stars through clouds. The light is there, but softened, gentled, made even more soothing by the veil of mist. A tree nearby is releasing its seed. You hear the soft rustle as the seed pod opens, then the faint whisper as the seed spirals down through the darkness. Many Amazon trees have evolved seeds that spin or glide, allowing them to travel farther from the parent tree. This seed is designed like a tiny helicopter with thin wings that catch the air and slow its descent. It lands somewhere in the darkness, settling into the leaf litter where it might sit for months or even years before the conditions are right for germination. The patience of seeds is remarkable. They can wait decades if necessary, holding all their potential inside, ready to burst into life the moment the opportunity arrives. Some seeds in the Amazon have been known to remain viable for over 100 years. They simply rest in the soil, neither alive nor dead, but perfectly, patiently waiting. You could learn from the seeds how to wait without anxiety, how to rest without restlessness, how to hold your potential quietly inside until the right moment arrives. You don't always have to be growing, blooming, producing. Sometimes it's enough to simply be dormant, resting, gathering strength for the next season of your life. The owl calls again, closer this time. Its voice is soft and questioning, as if it's checking in with the forest, making sure everything is well. The forest doesn't answer, not in words anyway, but the owl seems satisfied. It calls once more, then falls silent. Perhaps it's found prey, or perhaps it's simply content to rest for a while, perched on its branch, watching the night with those enormous, knowing eyes. The stream has found a new song, or perhaps you're just hearing it differently now, your ears attuned to subtler frequencies, smaller variations. You can hear individual drops now, each one making its own unique sound as it joins the flow. Some drops create high, clear notes. Others make deeper, rounder tones. Together, they form a composition that's constantly changing, yet somehow always the same. Your heartbeat has slowed even more. If you counted, you'd find it's beating perhaps 50 times a minute, maybe even slower. This is the rhythm of deep rest, of complete relaxation, of a body that feels safe enough to let go of all vigilance. Your heart trusts the night. It trusts the forest. It trusts this moment. And so do you. The kapok tree's roots extend far beyond what you can see, spreading out through the soil in a network that might stretch 50 feet in every direction. They're intertwined with the roots of other trees, creating an underground web of connection. When one tree needs nutrients, others can supply them through this network. When one tree is stressed, others can sense it and respond. This underground cooperation is invisible, but it's as real as the trees themselves. The forest is not a collection of individuals competing for resources. It's a community, a collaboration, a living system that takes care of itself. The trees support each other. The fungi help the trees shelter the plants feed the insects pollinate the flowers. Everything gives, everything receives, everything is held in a web of mutual care. You are held in that web too. The forest doesn't know you're human. It doesn't distinguish between you and the trees, you and the stream, you and the sleeping birds. You are simply another living being, and the forest extends its care to you the same way it extends care to everything else, unconditionally, generously, without reservation. A moth brushes your cheek. Its wings are softer than silk, lighter than air. The touch is so gentle you almost wonder if you imagined it. But no, you can hear the moth's wings beating, a soft flutter that fades as it flies away. The moth was attracted to the salt on your skin, or perhaps to your warmth, or perhaps it was just passing by and you happened to be in its path. Either way, the encounter was perfect, brief, gentle, tender. The darkness no longer feels like an absence of light. It feels like a presence in itself, soft, welcoming, kind. You've heard people speak of darkness as something to fear, but not this darkness. This darkness is a blanket, a comfort, a friend. It holds you gently, asking nothing, giving everything. Your breath is so slow now it's almost imperceptible. In and out, in and out. Each breath is complete in itself, perfect in its simplicity. You don't need to think about breathing. Your body knows what to do. It's been breathing since your first moment of life, and it will keep breathing, steady and sure, carrying you through this night and into tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't exist yet. There is only now, only this breath, only this peace, only this perfect, perfect rest. The night continues its gentle passage, and you continue to rest in the forest's embrace. Hours may have passed, or perhaps only minutes. Time has become irrelevant, a concept that belongs to another world, a world that feels very far away from here. The dew is forming now. You can feel it settling on your skin, tiny droplets appearing as if from nowhere, condensing out of the humid air. Each drop is cool and perfect. They gather on the leaves around you, making every surface shimmer faintly in the dim glow of the fungi. The forest is adorning itself with diamonds, millions of them, each one holding a tiny reflection of the night. This is the time when the forest's humidity reaches its peak. The air is so saturated with moisture that it can't hold any more, and the excess transforms into these tiny drops. By morning, the dew will be everywhere, coating every leaf, every blade of grass, every spider web. The whole forest will glitter with it, a liquid veil that will evaporate as soon as the sun rises. But for now, in these dark hours before dawn, the dew is forming quietly, patiently, decorating the night. A night heron calls from somewhere near the stream. Its voice is harsh and croaking, completely different from the melodious birds of daytime. But there's something honest about it, something real. The heron isn't trying to be beautiful. It's just being itself, calling out in the darkness, living its life. And that's beautiful in its own way. The beauty of authenticity, of a creature that makes no apology for what it is. The stream's temperature has dropped slightly as the night has progressed. It's fed by underground springs that maintain a constant temperature, but the surface water cools in the night air. If you were to put your hand in it now, you'd find it refreshingly cool, almost cold. The contrast with the warm air would be startling, but you don't need to move. You're perfectly content right where you are. The fungi's glow has stabilized into a steady, gentle light. They've found their rhythm for this hour, neither brightening nor dimming, just maintaining a constant, soothing luminescence. You've grown so accustomed to their light that you barely notice it anymore. It's just part of the night now, as natural as the stars, as permanent as the trees. An armadillo is shuffling through the leaf litter nearby. You can hear it rooting around, its sensitive nose searching for insects and grubs buried in the soil. Armadillos are ancient creatures. Their ancestors walked the earth with the dinosaurs. This one moves with slow determination, completely focused on its task, unbothered by the darkness or the solitude. It's been digging and foraging in forests like this one for millions of years, and it will continue doing so long after you've left. The sound of its shuffling is oddly comforting. There's something reassuring about knowing that life is continuing all around you, that the forest's work never stops. Even now, in the deepest part of night, creatures are feeding, hunting, building, living. The forest doesn't sleep, not really. It just shifts into a different mode, a quieter rhythm, but it never stops being alive. The air has a weight to it now, a density that feels almost tangible. You breathe it in, and it feels substantial, nourishing. The Amazon produces 20% of the world's oxygen, and some of it is filling your lungs right now, moving into your bloodstream, feeding your cells. You're being sustained by the forest with every breath, connected to these ancient trees through the most basic process of life. A fruit has fallen somewhere nearby. You hear it drop through the branches, striking leaves as it falls, until it lands with a soft thud on the forest floor. The fruit will lie there until some animal finds it, maybe a tapir, maybe a peccary, maybe an agouti. The animal will eat the fruit and scatter the seeds, carrying them far from the parent tree. And in this way, the forest spreads, grows, renews itself, generation after generation, in a cycle that's been continuing for millions of years. The tree at your back has stopped its daytime work of photosynthesis, but it's still busy. At night, trees conduct what scientists call respiration. They break down sugars to release energy for growth and maintenance. This process releases a tiny amount of heat, just enough that the tree's trunk is fractionally warmer than the surrounding air. You can feel it against your back, not hot, just warm, like a living thing, which, of course, it is. You've become so attuned to the forest that you can sense its subtle changes. The air is moving differently now, not with wind, but with tiny convection currents as warm air rises and cool air sinks. You can feel these gentle currents on your skin, like invisible fingers touching you, barely there, but definitely present. The mist is at its thickest now. It's accumulated in low spots, creating pools of white that seem to glow faintly in the darkness. If you could see yourself from above, you'd look like you were floating on a cloud, surrounded by these pockets of mist that rise and fall with the landscape. But you can't see yourself. You can only feel the mist's cool touch, the way it dampens your clothes and hair, the way it makes every breath taste fresh and clean. Somewhere high in the canopy, a branch creaks. It's not breaking, just adjusting to some small shift in weight or temperature, settling into a slightly different position. The canopy is constantly moving, constantly adjusting, even on the stillest nights. Trees grow, branches extend, leaves turn toward the light. It all happens so slowly you'd never notice if you were watching. But it's happening nonetheless. The forest is always changing, always becoming, always transforming itself into whatever it needs to be. A raindrop lands on your forehead, just one, no more. Perhaps it's condensation that's gathered on a leaf until it was too heavy to hold. Perhaps it's the first whisper of a new rain. It doesn't matter. The drop sits there for a moment, cool and perfect, then slowly rolls down the side of your face and disappears. You don't wipe it away. You let it take its course, following its own path, the way water always does. The nightjar has stopped calling. Either it's found what it was looking for, or it's decided to rest. The silence it leaves behind is even deeper than before. You can hear your own breath now, quiet and steady, the only human sound in this entire vast forest. And even your breath doesn't feel human anymore. It feels like part of the forest. Just another exhalation, joining the countless others, just another contribution to the great breathing of the Amazon. Your body has forgotten where it ends and the forest begins. Your back is the tree. Your legs are roots. Your breath is the wind. Your heartbeat is the drum of falling water. You've dissolved into the night, become part of its rhythm, its peace, its endless gentle being. And in this dissolution, you've found something you didn't know you were looking for. You found rest, real rest, the kind that goes deeper than sleep, the kind that heals. The night has reached a point of such profound stillness that even the word stillness seems too loud to describe it. It's as if the forest is holding its breath, balanced on the edge of something sacred, something holy. And you're holding your breath too, not from tension, but from a sense of awe so complete it leaves no room for movement. The darkness has textures now that you never noticed before. It's not uniform. It has depths, layers, variations. There's the thick darkness of the forest floor, where the fungi glow like distant stars. There's the lighter darkness of the lower canopy, where a faint suggestion of structure hints at branches and leaves. And there's the open darkness of the sky, barely visible through gaps in the canopy, where the blackness feels infinite and welcoming. A moth has landed on your hand and stayed there. You can feel its feet, light as thought, barely pressing against your skin. Its wings are folded now, at rest. Perhaps it's sleeping, Or perhaps it's just pausing in its endless search for flowers. Either way, it seems content to remain with you, trusting you not to move, not to startle, not to disturb its rest. And you don't. You keep perfectly still, honored to serve as a resting place for this small, delicate life. The stream has found its quietest voice yet. It's barely audible now, just the faintest whisper of water moving over stone. If you weren't listening for it, you might not hear it at all. But you are listening, and so you hear every nuance. The slight burble where the water eddies around a submerged log, the soft trickle where it slides over a flat rock, the gentle patter where it drops from one level to another. The kapok tree's roots have grown warmer beneath you, or perhaps you've grown warmer, your body heat transferring to the roots and then reflecting back. You can't tell anymore where your warmth ends and the trees begins. You're sharing heat, sharing presence, sharing this moment of perfect peace. A cricket begins to chirp. Its song is slow and rhythmic, perfectly spaced, like a metronome set to the tempo of rest. Scientists have found that cricket songs can have a hypnotic effect on listeners, slowing heart rates and inducing states of deep relaxation. This cricket song is doing exactly that. Each chirp pulls you a little deeper into calm, a little further into peace. The mist is moving now, very slowly, drifting between the trees like a living thing. It flows around tree trunks, pools and hollows, rises and falls with the invisible currents of the night. Watching it is like watching thoughts drift through a quiet mind. No resistance, no attachment, just gentle movement and constant change. A spider has descended on its silk thread, lowering itself slowly from a branch above. It passes right in front of your face, spinning slowly as it descends, its body no bigger than a peppercorn. It reaches the ground, releases its thread, and scurries off into the darkness. The thread remains invisible in the darkness, but there, nonetheless, a single strand of silk connecting earth to sky. The Amazon is full of these connections, invisible threads linking everything to everything else. The trees are connected by root networks. The animals are connected by food webs. The water cycle connects the river to the rain, to the clouds, to the rain again. And you're connected too, linked to all of it through the simple act of breathing this air, resting in this place, being part of this night. Your thoughts have become so quiet that you barely recognize them as thoughts anymore. They drift by like the mist, barely formed, immediately dissolving. There's no narrative, no story, no planning or remembering, just occasional wisps of awareness, quote 3, quote 4, quote 5, that appear and disappear without leaving a trace. The dew has gathered into larger drops now. They hang from leaves and twigs, catching what little light there is and reflecting it back in tiny points of brilliance. Each drop is a world unto itself, a perfect sphere of water holding its shape against gravity, against the randomness of the universe. The surface tension of water is a minor miracle, and these dewdrops are proof of it. Perfect, beautiful, temporary. A toucan shifts in its sleep somewhere in the canopy. You hear the rustle of feathers, the creak of the branch it's perched on. Toucans tuck their large beaks under their wings when they sleep, curling themselves into tight balls to conserve heat. This one has found its sleeping spot for the night, a safe perch where it can rest without fear. And it will stay there until morning, barely moving, conserving its energy for tomorrow's flight. The earth beneath you is so soft now, it feels like it's molding itself to your body. The layers of leaf litter have compressed slightly under your weight, creating a perfect impression, a space that fits you exactly. You're cradled by the forest floor, supported by centuries of fallen leaves, held by the patient accumulation of time. Another fruit falls, farther away this time. The sound is distant, dreamlike. The rustle of leaves, the soft impact, then silence. The fruit will wait there in the darkness until some animal finds it. There's no rush. Time moves differently for fruit, for seeds, for things that are content to simply be until the right moment arrives. The fungi's glow has begun to dim very slightly, not fading exactly, but settling into a deeper rest. Their internal clocks are telling them that dawn is still hours away, that this night will last a while longer, that there's time to dim a little, to conserve energy, to rest. You can learn from the fungi how to honor your own rhythms, how to know when to shine and when to dim, how to trust that there will be time for everything. The moth on your hand hasn't moved. Its wings are still folded, its tiny body still and warm against your skin. You can feel its heartbeat if you pay very close attention, a rapid flutter, impossibly fast, the heartbeat of a creature whose metabolism runs at a different speed than yours. But even that rapid beat has a rhythm to it, a pattern, a music. Everything has its rhythm, everything has its song. Your own heartbeat has slowed to perhaps 40 beats per minute now, maybe even fewer. This is the rhythm of deepest rest, of complete safety, of absolute peace. Your heart knows it doesn't need to rush. It knows you're safe here, held by the forest, cradled by the night. And so it beats slowly, confidently, without hurry or concern. The air tastes sweet now. You don't know why. Perhaps flowers have released more fragrance, or perhaps your senses have become so refined that you're noticing subtleties you missed before. But there's definitely sweetness on your tongue when you breathe, a flavor like honey and vanilla and something else you can't quite name. It's the taste of the forest at rest, the flavor of peace itself. The darkness no longer feels like darkness. It feels like presence, deep, warm, complete. It's not the absence of light. It's its own thing entirely, as real and substantial as the light of day, just different, just softer, just kinder. And in this darkness, this presence, this perfect peace, you finally understand something you've always known but never quite articulated. You understand that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You just have to rest. And so you do. In the heart of the night, the forest reveals its deepest secret. Nothing is permanent. Everything is changing, and all of it is happening with infinite slowness and infinite patience. The Amazon has been transforming itself for millions of years, and it will continue transforming for millions more. And right now, in this moment, you're part of that transformation, resting, releasing, becoming something slightly different from what you were when you arrived. The kapok tree's bark has developed a pattern against your back. You can feel the ridges and valleys pressed into your skin, creating a temporary tattoo of tree texture. When you eventually stand up, the pattern will fade quickly. But for now, it's there. Evidence of your connection to this ancient being, proof that you've truly rested here. A column of ants has discovered your shoe. They're walking across it, single file. exploring this strange object that's appeared in their territory. You can feel their tiny feet, dozens of them crossing your laces and eyelets. They're not biting. These aren't aggressive ants, just curious ones investigating this new feature of their landscape. You let them continue their exploration. You're not in a hurry to disturb them. The stream's song has changed again. The water has found a new route through the stones, or perhaps you're just hearing it with fresh ears. Either way, the melody is different now, lighter, higher, more like bells than drums. Water is endlessly creative, finding new ways to flow, new songs to sing. It never repeats itself exactly. Every moment's music is unique. Above you, invisible in the darkness, the canopy is doing its quiet work. The leaves are absorbing carbon dioxide even at night, storing it in their tissues, slowly building themselves into larger, stronger structures. Each leaf is a tiny factory of transformation, turning air into solid matter, thought into form. The process is so slow you'd never see it if you watched for hours, but it's happening nonetheless. The trees are growing cell by cell, molecule by molecule, with patience that makes glaciers seem rushed. A brief breeze moves through the lower forest, carrying with it new scents. You smell wet earth and decomposing leaves, flower perfume and tree resin, the musk of animals and the freshness of rain. Each scent tells a story. The earth is alive with fungi and bacteria. The flowers are calling to pollinators. The trees are protecting themselves with aromatic chemicals. The animals have marked their territories. The rain has washed everything clean. It's all there in the air, a library of information written in fragrance. The moth on your hand finally stirs. You feel its legs shift, its wings unfold. It remains for one more moment, perhaps orienting itself, and then it lifts off into the darkness. The spot where it rested feels cool for a moment, and then that too fades. The moth is gone, off to continue its night's work, and you're alone again. Or as alone as anyone can be in a forest full of life. Your breathing has synchronized perfectly with some rhythm of the forest. Perhaps it's the drip of condensation, or the cricket's chirp, or some other pulse you're not consciously aware of. But you can feel it, the way your breath rises and falls in perfect harmony with something larger than yourself. You've become an instrument in the forest's orchestra, playing your small part in its endless symphony. The darkness has deepened even further, if that's possible. This must be the darkest hour of the night, the point furthest from both sunset and sunrise. In this depth of darkness, your other senses have become incredibly acute. You can hear things you've never heard before. The almost inaudible whisper of your own blood flowing through your veins, the faint creak of your joints as they relax, the subtle rustling of your hair moving with your breath. A tree frog calls out, and another answers. They're singing to each other across the distance, maintaining contact through the darkness. Their voices are high and pure, like tiny bells ringing in a cathedral. The conversation continues for several exchanges, then fades into silence. Whatever they needed to communicate has been communicated. Whatever connection they needed to make has been made. The fungi's light is pulsing in a pattern you haven't seen before. It's subtle. You almost miss it, but it's definitely there. A slow rhythm, brightening and dimming over the course of perhaps 30 seconds. You watch for a long time, mesmerized by this gentle oscillation. It's like watching the forest breathe light, inhaling and exhaling luminescence in a cycle as natural as your own breath. The mist has begun to settle lower, hugging the ground more closely. It's cold now, not uncomfortable, just noticeably cooler than the air above it. Your feet and ankles are wrapped in this coolness, while the rest of your body remains warm. The contrast is pleasant, like wearing warm clothes while walking through cool air. A large bird passes overhead. You don't see it, but you hear the whoosh of its wings, powerful and steady. It might be an eagle or a hawk, some predator making a final patrol before finding its own resting place. The sound of its flight is surprisingly loud in the stillness, and then it's gone, swallowed by the night, leaving only silence behind. The tree's roots have begun to feel like part of your own body. The boundary between where you end and where they begin has blurred completely. When you imagine moving your fingers, it feels like you could just as easily move these roots. When you think about growing, it seems like you might extend deeper into the earth along with them. You've merged with this tree in some fundamental way, become part of its long, slow existence. Your mind has entered a state beyond normal rest. This isn't quite sleep, but it's not quite waking either. It's something else, a state of consciousness so quiet and calm that it barely qualifies as consciousness at all. You're aware, but barely, present, but loosely, here, but also nowhere. It's a state that meditators spend years trying to achieve, and you've stumbled into it simply by sitting still in the forest and letting the night do its work. The stream is barely audible now, or perhaps your hearing has shifted its focus to other things. Either way, the water's song has become background, a texture rather than a melody, a presence rather than a sound. It's still there, still flowing, still singing, but it's no longer demanding your attention. It's content to simply be. And so are you. A seed pod opens somewhere nearby. You hear the faint crack, then a soft scatter as seeds are released. They'll lie where they fall, waiting for the right conditions. Enough light, enough water, enough time. Some will germinate quickly, others will wait years. A few might wait decades, but they'll all wait with the same infinite patience, the same trust that when the right moment comes, they'll know what to do. The night is teaching you this patience. You can feel it settling into your bones, this understanding that there's no rush, that everything happens in its own time, that forcing and striving only push the good things further away. The forest doesn't hurry, and neither should you. The night doesn't rush toward dawn, and neither should you rush toward tomorrow. There's only now, only this breath, only this perfect, eternal present. And in this present, you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do, which is nothing at all. The night has become timeless. Hours might be minutes, or minutes might be hours. You've lost all ability to measure, and lost all desire to measure as well. Time is a concept that belongs to daylight, to schedules and clocks, and rushing. Here in the darkness, time has dissolved into something more fundamental. Just the pure experience of moments flowing one into another, seamless and unbroken. The dew has accumulated so heavily that it's beginning to drip. You hear drops falling from leaf to leaf, a gentle percussion that's both random and somehow ordered. Each drop follows gravity, takes the path of least resistance, lands exactly where it's meant to land. There's wisdom in this. The water doesn't struggle against its nature, doesn't resist gravity or try to flow upward. It simply does what water does, and in doing so, achieves a kind of perfection. A millipede is climbing the tree trunk beside you. You can hear its hundreds of tiny feet touching the bark, a sound like rain on paper. Millipedes move so slowly that watching them requires patience that most people don't have. But tonight, you have all the patience in the world. You listen to its progress, imagining its slow spiral up the trunk, its patient journey toward whatever destination it's seeking. The air has developed layers of different temperatures. Near the ground, it's coolest, where the mist has pooled. A few feet higher, where you're sitting, it's warmer. And higher still, up in the canopy, it's warmest of all. The forest creates its own climate, generates its own weather patterns. You're resting inside this microclimate, protected and held by the forest's careful regulation of temperature and moisture. A night monkey calls from somewhere distant. Its voice is trembling and ethereal, almost ghostly. Night monkeys are the only truly nocturnal monkeys in the world, and their calls are unlike any other primate sound, plaintive and strange, like questions asked in a language you almost understand but can't quite translate. The call fades into silence, leaving you wondering what question was asked, what message was sent into the darkness. The moth has returned, or perhaps it's a different moth, there's no way to tell, and landed on your knee. It sits there quietly, wings folded, small body warm against your skin. Moths are drawn to light, but also to warmth, to carbon dioxide, to salt. You're providing all of these things, making yourself a beacon for this small creature, its company in its way. Another life touching yours in this dark forest, another connection in the great web. Your body has released so deeply that you feel like you're melting into the ground. Your muscles have let go of tensions you didn't even know they were holding. Your jaw is slack. Your shoulders have dropped. Your spine has softened against the tree. This is what true relaxation feels like. Not just the absence of tension, but the presence of complete surrender to gravity, to rest, to peace. The fungi's glow has stabilized at a new, dimmer level. They're conserving energy now, preparing for their own version of rest. But they haven't gone dark. There's still enough light to see the vague shapes around you, the outlines of trees and leaves, and the mist that drifts between them. It's a twilight world, neither day nor night, but something in between, a space that exists only in these deep hours before dawn. Somewhere far above, you hear the rustle of a sleeping bird shifting position. These tiny sounds are clearer now than they would be during the day, when they'd be lost in the general noise of the forest. But at night, everything is audible. Every movement, every breath, every small adjustment. The night amplifies the quiet sounds, makes them precious, makes them worth noticing. The stream has found yet another voice. This one is deeper, more resonant, as if the water has discovered a cavity in the stones that acts like an echo chamber. The sound is almost musical, a low humming that you feel as much as hear. It vibrates through the ground, up through the tree roots, into your body. You're being played like an instrument, resonating with the frequencies of flowing water. The earth is alive beneath you. You can feel it now, the subtle movements of insects and worms, the slow work of roots growing, the patient decomposition of organic matter. The soil is teeming with life, billions of organisms working in darkness and silence to transform death into life, to turn what was into what will be. You're sitting on top of this transformation, resting on this eternal cycle of renewal. A bat returns to its roost somewhere nearby. You hear the flutter of wings, the soft scratching of claws on bark, then silence as it settles into place. Bats sleep hanging upside down, their feet locked onto branches or cave ceilings, their wings wrapped around their bodies like blankets. This one has found its spot and wrapped itself up, ready to sleep through the remaining hours of darkness. Your breath has become so quiet, you have to pay attention to notice it. Each inhale is shallow and slow, barely moving your ribs. Each exhale is a soft sigh that carries away whatever remains of the day's tensions, the day's worries, the day's noise. With every breath, you're becoming lighter, emptier, more like the air itself. The mist is rising slightly as the night progresses toward its end. Or perhaps the temperature is changing, causing the mist to redistribute itself. Either way, it's moving upward, thinning at ground level, thickening slightly higher up. Soon it will be swirling around your shoulders, your neck, your face, cool and damp and perfectly gentle. A leaf falls from the canopy. You hear it tumbling through the air, brushing against other leaves, taking its time. It lands softly on the forest floor, adding itself to the layers of leaves that have fallen before it. This leaf lived for months or years, photosynthesizing, contributing oxygen, providing shade. Now it will decompose, feeding the soil, nourishing the tree that bore it. Nothing is wasted. Everything is recycled. Life feeds life in an endless circle. The forest has given you everything it has to offer tonight. The darkness, the stillness, the gentle sounds of life continuing in its own quiet way. The mist and the dew, the songs of frogs and crickets, the soft glow of fungi lighting your way through the deepest hours. All of it has been a gift, freely given, asking nothing in return. Now, as you rest here against this ancient kapok tree, wrapped in the forest's embrace, you can feel a deep warmth spreading through your body. Not the warmth of heat, but the warmth of safety, of belonging, of being exactly where you're meant to be. Your breathing has become so slow, so gentle, that it barely disturbs the air. Your heartbeat is steady and calm, a quiet drum that needs no rhythm but its own. Every part of you has softened, released, let go. You're not holding on to anything anymore. Not thoughts, not worries, not plans. Just this moment, just this breath, just this peace. The Amazon will continue through the night without you now. The stream will keep singing its endless song. The moths will continue their flight from flower to flower. The trees will grow their patient, invisible growth. The mist will rise and fall, and all of it will happen in perfect harmony, the way it's been happening for millions of years. But you don't need to witness it. You don't need to stay awake. The forest gives you permission to close your eyes completely now, to sink into the deepest rest, to let the night carry you wherever it wants to take you. You are safe here. You are held here. The earth beneath you, the tree behind you, the soft air around you, everything is supporting you, cradling you, watching over you with the infinite patience of the natural world. So let your eyes close if they haven't already. Let your body grow heavy. Let your mind drift into silence, into softness, into sleep. The Amazon will be here when you wake. The trees will still be standing. The stream will still be flowing. The forest will still be breathing its slow, eternal breath. But for now, there's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to be, nowhere you need to go. Just rest, just peace, just this gentle, endless softness wrapping around you like the night itself. Sleep well, dear friend. The forest is watching over you, and everything is well.